Welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
And Quincy, as you see, is missing today. He is off, but he will be back with us very soon. So it's ladies' hour today, right, Danielle?
Yes, which is great because we have a lot of fun Halloween stuff to talk about today.
We do. I'm getting so excited. Halloween is so much fun. And, this year with COVID, we're already wearing masks. So, that's something, right, for the holiday.
You are right. We are.
I'm curious, when you were a kid, did you like costumes with masks or did you go all out and do something different?
No, I was very much wanted to be the princess. I think most of my costumes had a skirt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I was too. Definitely girly girls here. But we have a picture of you when you were younger, right?
Yeah, this is my first Halloween costume. Well, maybe not my first ever. My first ever, I was like a small baby and I was like a Dalmatian or something. But this is the first one I remember, which was kindergarten. And I was Glinda the Good Witch from Wizard of Oz, which is still one of my favorite movies.
And you even have a little name tag that says Danielle. How cute are you? Look at that.
My mom made that costume. Can you believe that?
Okay, no. So tell me more about this because I never got a handmade costume. How did that work?
I got a handmade costume every year. I was just very, very lucky. My mom learned how to sew in 4-H when she was little. And so every year I would just put in my requests, like, this is what I'm going to be this year, Mom. Thank you.
Are you kidding me? So what were some other costumes that she made for you over the years?
I got a poodle skirt because I wanted to be a 50s girl. I was a sorceress. I think I was a devil one year, which was probably a little bit too on brand. But yeah, I got to be a lot of different things. And when I was Glinda the Good Witch in kindergarten, another little girl with red hair showed up and she was Dorothy. So it was very cute.
Oh, that is cute. And you mentioned the poodle skirt. My mom did actually make me a poodle skirt. So I take that back.
Yeah.
And that was for something in 5th grade where we did a little like sing and dance on the stage. I don't remember what it was for, but yeah.
Everyone's had a poodle skirt or two in their day, right?
I still have it. And Danielle, get this. It basically almost still fits.
Well, I believe that, Cheryl. I 100% believe that, Cheryl.
I know. Just
you're fun size, just like Halloween candy.
I am fun sized. I like to call myself that. Yeah. And
so, do you still like to dress up?
I do.
Do you still get into Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any costumes that we could look at?
As an adult, I'm still dressing up. And how fitting is this, right? A cat.
Yes. The cat lady. Yes.
That was a couple years ago.
Catwoman.
And then
oh my God, Cheryl. Like you could work at Disneyland as Cinderella for real.
Thank you. I would love that. And then that's the evil side. That's Morticia.
I was going to say we really took a turn there. Okay.
Oh yeah. So I try to mix it up every year. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be this year yet, but I know I'm kind of running out to figure it out. I don't know. It's kind of a last minute thing that I figure out. Right. Normally I'm such a planner, but I kind of just go with what I'm feeling. What about you?
Well, last year I was still working at NFL Network, and so I was Ed Reed, who's a former NFL player, and that one turned out pretty good, I think. But yeah, so I'm not really sure this year because I'm not really even sure I'm going to be in the office, so we'll see.
I know. It's funny. Our director said to me that I should be Angela from The Office, right, with all the cats.
Yes, dead on. Yes.
Yeah, I think
I can definitely see that. That's an easy costume.
I know. I wouldn't even need one. Just a bunch. I could just hold all my cats and carry them around, but I don't think Dave would like it too much.
Carry all my cats around.
But speaking of Halloween, Danielle, we have a fun show today. Lots of Halloween ideas for you, so you're going to want to stick around for that.
Definitely, and we also get to talk to our friends over at the Chicago Eco House, and we get a little comic relief as well.
Comic relief is so good because laughing always seems to make everything better. And speaking of making stuff better, I also am a huge football fan, just like you, Danielle. And coming up next, yes, we're going to talk with a Super Bowl champion, find out who he is next. So you got to stay with us. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, in my opinion, a sure sign of autumn is football.
Yes, we're so lucky here on Main Street because we get to talk about football almost every week, and that's obviously something I love to talk about. Being from a sports reporter background, so today we're very lucky because we have a former college football player, a former NFL linebacker. He played for the Cowboys, he played for the Saints. He has a Super Bowl championship ring. He's the co-host of Saints Game Day and Saints Tonight, and a co-host of LSU Tonight as well. Please welcome Scott Shanley.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Did I miss anything? I got the Super Bowl ring in there.
That's usually the most important thing.
Yeah,
you didn't leave that out. We're good, yeah.
All right, Scott. So tell me, you started out as a player, but then transitioning to be a TV broadcaster. How did that go?
It was a fairly easy transition. I think a lot of times for former players, former athletes in general, you like to stick with your sport. So I think a lot of guys either lean towards coaching or media. And, the coaching rigors are very tough. I mean, they spend a lot of hours in the office. Sometimes overly complicate the game, turn it into science sometimes. But no, I think a lot of guys just transition towards media because we get to still stay involved with the game, and it's an easy transition after we play, and we still get to talk ball.
And you guys have unique insight, obviously, that an average broadcaster maybe couldn't contribute. So what are you thinking about college football right now? Obviously, restarting in some places, even the SEC suggesting we're just going to do in-conference only. Any thoughts?
No, I like the way the SEC is doing their conference schedule. I really do, because the SEC the past few years have always kind of had Division II opponents throughout their schedule, and I love seeing the SEC play SEC teams. To me, it's the strength of college football is that conference. That's debatable, I think, but there's always really strong teams, and I'm happy to see the Big Ten has followed because there's some good football in that conference as well. But I really like the all-conference schedule. I know they probably can't do it going forward, but for this year, the COVID scheduling, I think it made sense to stay within the conference.
Right. I mean, you mentioned the COVID-19. We definitely are still dealing with that. And the NFL is dealing with it, right? So, I mean, the Titans just had a little bit of an outbreak. Some games have already been rescheduled. They're looking at rescheduling games again. So what do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to finish a full season here?
A week ago, if you would ask me that question, I would have said I think the NFL is going to get through normal. But when I start to see the Tennessee Titans, I mean, they are really on a full-fledged outbreak right now. I think 20-some players now they're up to have tested positive. That is really tough to contain. Now you're talking about delaying their schedule, their opponent's schedule. If I were the NFL, I think I would go and everybody plays a division opponent twice. I think I would eliminate that second game. Everybody plays their division opponents once. You play a 12-game season, and you save the last 4 weeks of the season for makeup games. I hope they don't have to do that, but I really think that's the safest option to prevent chaos in the end when you're rescheduling all these games. Some teams are going to be affected, some aren't, but I think that's the safest route to go.
Right. I mean, I know the Steelers were one of the teams that had to be rescheduled. I know Ben Roethlisberger was not super happy with it. Coming from a player perspective, how do you think the players are feeling dealing with all of these very unusual circumstances?
Well, I know as a player, I think first and foremost, you don't want to be the guy. Just like when you play in a game and you don't want to be the reason you don't win a game. There's a lot of pressure on players right now to not be the guy that tests positive. And that's easier said than done. I look at the NBA who went to a full-time bubble. They were away from their families. In the NFL, there's been talk that's an option, but I don't believe it's an option. You have 53 guys on a roster. You have a ton of practice squad players. By the time you add more coaches, you're going to be almost close to 80-some people that you have to bubble per team and their families. That's really not an option. But I go back to each individual player. There's a lot of stress on these guys not to contract the virus. Now, the facilities are doing a good job of testing, keeping, the media is not allowed in the building. The hard thing is you go home to your girlfriends, your wives, your kids. They have to live life. They have to go to the store. They have to go to the school. Yes, they definitely have things to do. That's tough. It really is.
Well, I'm really sad because we're kind of running short on time, but I want to ask you one more question. I know pretty familiar. You played with Drew Brees, Sean Payton. Do we think this is Drew Brees' final year?
If I had to guess, I think it is. I think Drew got really close last year to hanging it up. I think he came back for one more swan song. That team is assembled to win a championship, and I think this is it for Drew.
Who's the one person we should be definitely keeping our eye on the Saints right now, or who's your favorite player to watch right now?
Alvin Kamara. Besides Drew, Alvin Kamara, he is so electric. He's so fun to watch when the ball is in his hand, and he's one of the best athletes I've seen. And so if you're checking out a Saints game, look for number 41, and he will amaze you.
Yeah, it won't be hard to find them, right? Well, Scott, where can people watch your show? Just real quick, where can they find you?
We're on Cox Sports Television, and I know in New Orleans, I think the local channel is channel 37. We are on at 10:30 on Sundays. We're doing Saints shows, so 10:30 in the morning, and then 10:30 at night. Saturday nights, if you want to watch some LSU postgame, it's 10 o'clock at night. So those are the times we'll be on covering those two teams.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Scott. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
All right, stick with us here on Main Street. Coming up, we're going to show you how to bring outdoor beauty inside. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl, you know, as we all do too well, that we have been stuck inside a lot these last couple months. And so we are just trying to be, just trying to state the obvious. So we're trying to find ways to, at least I am, to bring like the outdoors indoors a little bit more. So, I mean, we were talking with our producer, Melissa, before. I just bought some house plants, but we're all just kind of looking for a way to kind of bring the outdoors in, I think.
Yeah, especially as the weather turns colder and then we're really going to be stuck indoors. So we want to try to brighten it up and liven things up inside. And Chicago Eco House is an emerging sustainable urban agricultural development in the inner city. And it's pretty cool the work that they're doing. So here to tell us about it is president and founder Keelan Blackwell. Thank you so much and welcome to Main Street Living.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So you have a great story. I mean, your journey has taken you through the Peace Corps, ministry school, and now sustainable agriculture. And you started with a dream, and now it's becoming a reality. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's definitely been an unorthodox, story. So, really like the foundation of our work has really just been inspired by my faith. Like as a Christian, I grew up originally in Madison, Wisconsin. So I was like fortunate to like grow up largely away from a lot of the realities of the inner city. But, I really just sort of felt led to give back. So, back in 2013, when I was in ministry school, I did some tutoring at a high school here in the South Side of Chicago. And through that experience, I really got to know like a lot of the kids, a lot of the families, a lot of the people here. And I really just sort of felt like I needed to, I had a choice. Either I could just look away and live a normal, conventional life, or I could really dedicate my life to the uplifting of, my people here. And I chose the latter. So, my background's in community organizing as well as renewable energy. Like I worked in the biodiesel industry as well, in addition to the Peace Corps. So, when I was seeing like the vacant lots, I sort of saw an opportunity to really merge both of my interests in sustainable business with community development, and thus the Chicago Eco House was born.
And not a lot of people are doing what you're doing. And it's so important too to inspire the youth and be a role model for them. And what you're doing in Chicago and in Detroit, you've got 4 farms all in the inner city. I mean, this is amazing that you're doing this and you're helping youth. What has the reaction been so far?
Now it's great. People love it. In the early days, people were a little, they didn't quite know what we were up to, especially focusing on flowers. A lot of people would tell us like, hey, you can't eat a flower. So, why aren't you growing food? We're like a lot of the communities we work in, unfortunately, are food deserts. But, for us, like the focus has always been on creating jobs and building industry from the ground up. So once people started to see that there's money in flowers, all of a sudden people like really fully embraced us. And, now we're in a situation where, a lot of communities would love to have an eco house in their neighborhood to provide jobs for some of the most vulnerable young people.
Absolutely. And you were talking about flowers. And one program you created is Southside Blooms, a farm to vase florist that provides unique arrangements. This is perfect for any occasion. On this a little bit.
Yep, including COVID, by the way. Like a lot of people have been stuck inside. So, a lot of people have been appreciating having fresh flowers being delivered to their doorstep. But yeah, so we started Southside Blooms as a social enterprise that branched out of the work we're doing at Eco House. And the purpose of Southside Blooms is really to really create long-term sustainable job development for our at-risk young people. We basically take the flowers that we're growing on our EcoHouse farms, and we will process them into bouquets, and then we have a online delivery service. So people will come, they purchase a bouquet. We have people just, will buy for birthdays, anniversaries, funerals, whatever the occasion is, and we deliver anywhere in the Chicagoland area. That's actually turned out to be very successful for us. Dealing with COVID. I mean, originally we were thinking we were going to focus more on events, but when COVID hit, all our events got canceled. So we had to really adapt. So when we adapted to a direct-to-consumer online delivery model, I mean, we just start by selling on Instagram, and it just blew up. So this year we did over $100,000 just in flower sales. That's really been able to help us support 10 part-time jobs for our young people, here in our community. So it's really been a big difference maker, particularly during these really difficult times that we've been going through.
You are doing so well, and I'm sure people watching this are getting inspired maybe to do something similar in their own community. And I would love to chat with you more, but we are about out of time. So where can people go to learn more and check out what you do offer?
Yeah, so you can go to www.chicagoecohouse.org. There you can read about us. You can send us an email. You can also go to www.southsideblooms.com. We have our holiday wreaths for sale, as well as some holiday cards that we'll be selling. So you can sign up there. You can place an order, and we'll deliver it to you.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, we've got a lot more ahead a lot more ahead on Main Street Living, Danielle. It was a great segment.
Yes, I love watching people doing good. So let's keep that rolling into the next segment. Stick with us.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, if there was ever a time to give back, I think it's right now during a pandemic.
Definitely. And this next story is truly about solving a problem and giving back. The group Rock Solid builds hope for kids with cancer, one playground at a time. Take a look.
Rock Solid is a nonprofit foundation started by Eric Newman, and they try to build hope for kids with pediatric cancer.
What we're doing here today is we're providing playback to a beautiful young girl that, with no fault of her own, has just lost out on the ability to play.
My name is Anna, and this is my dad, and this is my mom. Rock Solid is here, and they're building me a new playground, so they're basically just kicking us out of the house.
So we come out early in the morning, 7 o'clock. We get everything set up. A limo comes around 8:30, takes the child off on an adventure for the day. Usually they go out to breakfast, and then their choice of where they want to go to play and have fun while we're here building hope in their backyard.
It's a great feeling to see her smiling and excited. And we're really, really appreciative of Rock Solid for doing this for us.
The volunteers get a sense of working together, of giving something back to the community. A lot of them we have playing it forward who have had some sort of experience in their life with cancer. And this is an opportunity for them to give back what has affected them and their family.
I'm so personally connected to the pediatric cancer world. I was diagnosed with liver cancer when I was 3 years old. Gave my parents a very rare chance of me beating the disease. Ended up beating it, and then finally, after I got back to this one spot at CHKD in Norfolk, ended up throwing a fundraiser, and then a mama bear, which was sitting right there with me, she started to cry. She said that you give me and my husband hope that my son will be sitting in your seat one day. And ever since then, I knew I needed to marry the cancer tragedy knowledge, if you will, and my construction knowledge, and married them together, and that's where Rock Solid Foundation came from. It's not about a logo. It's not about growing a brand. It's about getting to these families when they so desperately need it. And as long as we stay focused on that, there's nothing that we can't do. And I truly believe this is what I beat cancer to do.
2, 3.
She has been waiting for this day for a long time, and it surpassed probably anything she could imagine. The look on her face was just amazing.
It means a lot to us for her to have a safe place to play, to have the excuse, now she's going to be really excited about, let me go outside and let me climb and play, and that can only mean good things as far as her physical well-being too. So that means a lot.
So I have been looking forward to this for a while, and I'm so glad that it's finally here. The playground is fun, and I can actually play on it without having to get sick from people that actually are sick.
For these families, once you're diagnosed with cancer, public places become off limits. But today we were able to beat that as well. They were able to hang out, just what girls should do, just what kids should do, hang out with their friends. And they were able to go out and just enjoy today, not have to worry about all the stuff that cancer can do. Today we focus on what cancer cannot do.
See, Cheryl, those are just exactly the kind of stories we need right now.
We do. I know people helping others, giving back, being positive. We definitely need more of that stuff. And another thing that can help during this time, Danielle, is laughter. And we're going to get COVID cosmetic reviews from a comedian. What's that all about? Stay with us. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, when I was growing up, my parents always said to me, laughter is always the best medicine.
Yes, and can we all use a lot more of that about now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So luckily for us here today, we have a stand-up comic. Please welcome to the show, Mindy S.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Hi, Mindy.
Good to you.
Thanks for having me.
So Mindy, gotta be hard to be a stand-up comic. People are expecting you to be funny all the time. Tell us how you got started.
So I did sketch comedy and improv for about 4 years, but I just had always wanted to kind of take the plunge into stand-up, and I don't know, people had suggested it over the years, so I just felt like I should try it.
You're funny if people are suggesting it.
I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know so I guess that they saw something in me, but yeah, it is scary, but I love it.
Right.
And comics make it look so easy when they're on stage, but I know there's a lot of prep work that goes into it. I mean, you have to come up with your material ahead of time, and you don't know if people are going to laugh or not. So what kind of work are you doing behind the scenes?
So writing is a big one. That's the real main difference between doing improv and stand-up. Is improv, you do one time, you make it up on the spot, and then stand-up, you're really writing and then going to open mics and practicing and seeing if people laugh. And if they don't laugh, you rewrite. And if they do laugh, you keep it. And then sometimes, it's a little bit of both. It is a lot of prep work, but it's also, I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment.
I think we all are a little bit sometimes. But you've kind of started something cool during this quarantine. We've all been spending a lot of time at home, probably been shopping a lot more. I think I've developed a shopping problem. But you've done something very cool here. So you started to review products that you buy on Amazon?
I did. I had to do something. Like I've done some Zoom shows and stuff like that, but just the actual act of being in front of people and getting to perform, I just really, really missed it. And I was going totally stir crazy. So I started a YouTube channel just doing like funny reviews on products, just to be able to do a little bit of comedy during quarantine.
And how are you making these funny? What are you putting into it?
I don't know. I'm surprised. Like, I'm glad people didn't think they're funny. That was, I don't ever go into anything trying to be funny, but the fact that people enjoy them is nice. And I also started reviewing like products that like I pick things based on the fact that I think that they might be funny to try.
Do you ever have like a budget or anything? Sorry, yeah.
No, you're fine. I am trying to stay under $20 just because, you know, most of the stuff is like a fail. Like I know going into it that whatever product it's probably not going to be a good product. So I try to keep it around 20. But if there's something amazing or somebody suggests something they really want to see, I would probably go above it a little bit.
So what if it were, say, something like a personal hot tub?
How did you know that? You guys did your back homework. Yeah, I might review this little personal.
We're secret fans.
Happened. A friend of mine is from Lebanon, and he didn't know what a redneck hot tub was. You guys know what a redneck hot tub is?
Just explain it for the audience in case they
I
don't.
don't think I know.
Basically, when you take the bed, I've never done this, by the way, but he just didn't believe me. You take the bed of your truck, you flip it back, and then you put a tarp in, and you fill it up with water. So you're basically making a hot tub out of the back of your truck bed. But since I had Googled that, then it started suggesting that I buy this personal hot tub on Amazon.
It was like, please don't do that. Buy this instead.
Well, I put it on Facebook and wrote just like luxury or something like that. And so many people commented on it that now I'm like, well, now I kind of have to buy it. My only thing is I'm like, well, what do I like? I don't want it to like flood my house. That's the only thing.
So wait, what is a personal hot tub? What do you mean? Is it kind of like a kiddie pool that you blow up, or how does it work?
From the terrible photos, okay, so it comes in 2 colors. You can do gray or pink. I'm leaning towards the pink.
Okay.
Sure. Just like a cylinder of water, apparently, but like it has like the jets and stuff. $89.99. So you know it's high quality.
Do you sit in it or do you stand? Like what?
The guy looked like he was doing like a little squat. Like I don't
like a little. Okay, so not super relaxing, but okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a total fail. I mean, I know I'm never gonna use it more than maybe I won't say that. Maybe it'll be like the best thing that ever happened to me. Who knows?
Absolutely. That could be a party game, you know, when we're allowed to have parties again. Dare people to go in there and see who stays in the longest. But Mindy, it's been so much fun to chat with you today. Where can people find you and watch your comedy?
So I am in the Hampton Roads area in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So I do shows mostly locally. Right now, a lot of them are on Zoom. But if they want to check in and see my product reviews, my name is my YouTube channel. So it's MINDYESS, Mindy S. That's my name. So yeah, feel free to follow me there. And that's also my name on Instagram and Facebook.
For sure. So go follow Mindy. Make sure you check out her YouTube channels. And Mindy, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And stick with us on Main Street because we are counting down to Halloween.
All right.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl, I have to ask you, when you're growing up, Halloween as a kid, that was the best holiday, right?
Yes, it was always so much fun because I love dressing up and wearing a mask and, you know, with
little
COVID,
pillowcase for your candy.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, I had a pumpkin. I always had a plastic pumpkin.
Okay.
Yeah,
you were legit. Yeah, absolutely. I used a pillowcase.
No, I didn't do that. But Halloween is probably the most adaptable holiday to COVID because we're wearing masks, you know, perfect for a Halloween costume. But there are some challenges, Danielle, and here were some ideas to get around some of the obstacles is San Diego mom and blogger Nikki Jones. Nikki, welcome to Main Street Living. So happy to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. So this year, I feel like everything is up in the air for Halloween. I mean, some communities are canceling trick-or-treating. What's left to do? I mean, what are we supposed to do this year?
I know. Well, we have come up with some amazing ideas, but I think the theme for 2020 to me is just really being creative and doing what's right for your family. I think your kids are going to see this later in life and they're going to see how you adapted and grew and just made it fun for them, regardless of how hard this time has been. So for me, it's doing what's right for your family.
You're so positive about it. I love that.
So you mentioned you have some creative ideas. Anything you can share with us? Anything that would be easy for us to do?
Yes, absolutely. So we had come up with a few different ideas with our mom's blog writers. We have about 40 of them, which has been an amazing resource for me kind of during this time to navigate everything. But trick or treat within your own home. If you're not comfortable going outside, you could decorate each door and kind of have a treat or a prize behind it and make it fun so they can still get dressed up, walk outside, not outside, but into each room and trick or treat. We also put together a fun scavenger hunt, which has also been kind of an ongoing theme for, I feel like, the pandemic. But if your neighborhood has put together a ton of decorations outside, walk around and have them find a white pumpkin, a pumpkin, maybe it's a ghost or whatever it might be. And then you can give them a prize kind of for completing that scavenger hunt.
Oh, yeah. It's like an Easter egg hunt, but Halloween.
I got really competitive with scavenger hunts, though.
Yes.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We had to win, and I would tackle my sister and knock her down if I found something. So it's so funny. And you mentioned the treat tree. What is a treat tree?
Yeah, so I would say like the biggest, I guess, concern with trick-or-treating has been kids reaching into the bowl that you have outside, or maybe you're handing out treats and obviously sanitate, all of the things wrong with COVID and everything that's happening. So for me, we had come up with this idea to put little individual bags, and you could hang it from a tree. If you don't have a tree out front, you could maybe put it on a fence. And so that also creates an element of fun. I guess even my daughter, when I was putting this all together, it's decorations and it's an opportunity for them to reach up and grab a bag full of candy and have fun and keep that safe.
Genius.
What about parents who maybe aren't so sure about trick-or-treating this year? Any advice for them?
I think you just stick with what I said earlier. Do what's right for your family. Get creative, because we all have had to get so creative during this time. It's been hard for us, and I can only imagine how hard it is for these little minds that are growing and developing, but it's also a great skill. It's adaptability. You have to adapt in life, and you're teaching that to them. They might not see it now, but they're going to see it later. They're going to be like, wow, my mom created this Halloween that was
from nothing.
Like I remembered. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably better than just trick-or-treating. So
and costumes are always crucial. They're so important to make Halloween fun. What do you think the costume trends will be this year? I mean, do you think everybody's going to be wearing some kind of a superhero mask?
Yeah. What do the kids want to be this year?
I mean, my daughter wants to be all of the standard. She's Jasmine, Moana, all that fun stuff. But I mean, I feel like little boys have a little bit better with masks and things like that. But PJ Masks, one of my daughter's favorites. So, she can go and have fun, and her mask will be in style.
There you go.
Candy.
Yeah.
We'll make sure. Your view, right? Yeah. So we can check out her videos on Your View. So if you want to see more from Nikki and get more tips, then definitely check out yourview.com. Nikki, anywhere else they can find you?
SanDiegoMoms.com. Always putting out great resources and fun stuff to do.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks so much, Nikki. All right, well, stick with us. It's coming up. We are talking about haunted boat rides.
Ooh, let's go.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Cheryl, I have to ask, are you a big fan of boating?
I love boating. Yes.
Okay.
Boating is so
What about
fun.
haunted boats?
I've actually never done a haunted boat, which is why I'm so excited about this next segment, because, 2020 has really taught fundraisers to be resourceful, and a group in Rhode Island, Danielle, has developed a unique Halloween tour called Swamp Scare. Here to tell us about this new haunted boat ride is Mike Martin with the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council. Welcome to Main Street Living. What a cool idea.
It is a cool idea. I agree. Thank you so much for having me today. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Of course it is. I know that. So how did you come up with this? This is so unique.
Well, it's not it's a tough time, this 2020 COVID-19, and I think just from a fundraising perspective, and maybe from a we want to do good for the Blackstone Valley, which is essentially the 9 cities of northern Rhode Island. We were seeing lots of different very cool attractions throughout the state being canceled due to COVID. We have a really great riverboat that we've had for years, and we've done haunted boat rides in the past, and we thought, you know what, can we make this happen again? You know, and we were able to do it. We put our brains together, and we've got a really super creative team here at the Tourism Council, and we just started brainstorming, partnered with another really creative local organization, and the Swamp Scare happened. We're just so happy about it.
It was
It's awesome.
born.
It's just going great.
Yeah,
So
it
great.
is
It was born,
alive.
exactly. It is alive from the deep, dark, murky depths of the Blackstone River. You know, the swamp monster has arisen, essentially, and that was really the first thing we said, and it all just kind of fell into place from there. So it's really going well. Yeah.
Right. So tell me, what do I need to know for Swamp Scare? Do I just show up in my costume, or how does it work?
Well, that's a part of it. Absolutely, you do. Well, it's it's a 20-minute boat ride. It's every Thursday night through Monday. We actually just added Mondays because in a month of selling tickets, we've sold almost 1,000 tickets. It's a 20-minute boat ride.
Mondays weren't scary enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we added the Monday. 4 rides a night, 4 20-minute boat rides aboard our Blackstone River Riverboat Explorer, and we have 4 rides a night: 6:45, 7:30, 8:15, and 9 o'clock. You get on the boat. It's once again, we've had to take a full boat, and we're able to hold 15 passengers plus a captain and a deckhand. But we'll take you on a tour, a nighttime tour of the Blackstone River, we have a great narrator, and she'll tell the tale of the swamp monster, and it's a lot of scares, a lot of fun. It's fun for the whole family, but we're seeing families, we're seeing young, old, kids, teens, birthday parties attend. It's just incredible. So and we do encourage people to dress up, and they have been, and it's
I'm so glad that you're doing this, because we need fun stuff to do in the world of COVID. And speaking of that, how are you making sure people are safe and social distance?
Well, great question. Thank you for that. Well, like I said, our riverboat normally, under normal conditions and circumstances, holds 40 people. We worked with the Rhode Island Department of Business Regulations, the Rhode Island Department of Health, State Fire Marshal, to put a really, really solid plan together that is COVID conscious. Like I said, 15 passengers versus 40. The boat is cleaned before and after. Masks are absolutely essential and required, and if you don't have them, have one when you show up. We've got one for you waiting. We've got the hand sanitizer. We have a staff person dedicated 100% to cleaning the boat before and after passengers get on the boat. They're going to be assigned a seat based on the individual, and if you come in a family or a pod, as a family or as a pod, as it's called, I guess nowadays, and to ensure that all the social distancing practices are adhered to the nth degree, and it's working out, and nobody's complaining. Everybody's having fun, and it's
Mike, where can we get tickets for this if we want to go? Where can we get more info?
Another great question. swampscare.com. You can also go to tourblackstone.com, but swampscare.com is going to get you right there, and you have to buy tickets prior to, you just can't come and buy tickets, unfortunately. You have to go to swampscare.com. But like I said, we just added Mondays. We have plenty of tickets left, but they are selling quick. Averaging about 50 a day. So
Mike, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Both.
It's been so much fun. More Main Street Living after this. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, I've enjoyed our girls' hour today. We missed Quincy, but this was all girl time.
Yeah, I think he can come back next week, but I think we needed this.
I know, it is nice. And, we were talking before one of the interviews in bringing the outdoors inside, and it's so nice to do. It's so helpful, especially during the colder months in the winter. Do you have any plans inside?
Well, it's definitely not cold here in Las Vegas for me yet. It is still quite warm when I leave work, which I very much enjoy.
Yes.
But I did get 2 plants last weekend, so I'm officially a plant mom. And I feel this tremendous sense of responsibility not to kill them. So I think this is like a good first mom step for me, and then maybe like an animal, and then we'll work our way.
That's good. Start with plants first, then animals, and then maybe kids, who knows, down the road. But what kind of plants did you get?
They need similar things though, right? Like it's like sunlight, food,
TLC.
Yeah.
What did you get?
Oh man, I think it's called a golden pothos, and it's supposed to be like one of the hardest plants to kill. And I really wanted a plant for my shower, but my bathroom doesn't have any like outdoor light, any windows, and so I have to like put it in there when I want to look at it, and then like put it out by the sun so it like can also stay alive.
Wait,
it's supposed to be the hardest plant to kill.
And you wanted a plant in the shower?
Yeah, have you ever seen that? It's like you should check out Pinterest. It's really cute. Yeah.
Really?
The DIY people at home know what I'm talking about. But yeah.
Because all I think is, oh my gosh, it would get too much water every time I shower. But I guess it's not under the
This one is supposed to be good for it because you get some steam and things like that, and so it's supposed to be enough for it, but not too much.
I need to look that up. All I have is an orchid and it doesn't flower. So I'm just going, what am I supposed to do with this?
Right. Well, you have to keep me honest and just check in and make sure that I'm like watering them and keeping them alive.
Yeah, for sure. Danielle, it's been fun today. Lots of Halloween stuff. More ideas for Halloween on yourview.com.
Yeah, definitely. And download the Contour app, the Cox Contour app, and you can check out our show on there as well if you search for Your View.
And you can always join us right here, 9 p.m. local time on Mondays for new episodes of Main Street Living. So make sure you join us next time as we take a walk down Main Street.